Peace be with you. My name is Alan Kiesler. Although I'm in the United States, I'm always thinking about Pakistan, Khalistan, the land of the pure, where I lived the first 18 years of my life. My parents were working there, so I'm always thinking now, these days, recently, about the Earth and other planets, because since I was young, I've known some things about UFOs and extraterrestrials and always been interested in them. But really only in the last few months, I've started thinking more and more, especially since these congressional hearings that just happened this year. I've been thinking more and more about extraterrestrials and UFOs, and when will this information be given openly to the people of the world? So I had a friend who's passed away some years ago. Excuse me. He was a professor at the University of California in Berkeley when I was studying there. And we became close friends, and I visited him in his house many times and had meetings with him and other people about UFOs and ETs. So he testified in the United States Congress, actually the House of Representatives. It was the Committee on Science and Astronautics, because he was a scientist. So he was called by the United States House of Representatives to testify. What could it be that these UFOs, which were being observed all the time, and obviously flew in ways that our craft could not fly. They could, in fact, he testified about an incident in which a UFO had observed by highway patrol officers. A UFO had come down very, very fast from a high up, and they thought it was going to crash. The highway officers thought it was an airplane, although it didn't have wings, and they couldn't hear any sound, so they thought that it was actually they had turned the engines off or something, and it came very, very fast down, almost to the ground, I think within 50 or 100 yards at the most of the ground, and then suddenly turned and went up. So he testified as to what this could have been, how it could have been propelled. So that was, and then he later became very, very interested in UFOs and gathered a lot of information about them, in which I learned a lot from him. But the most important thing I want to talk about today is this year. For the first time since 1968, that's 55 years later, the Congress, United States Congress, is now having hearings again about UFOs and ETs, because in the hearing that happened on July 26th, again in the House of Representatives, they heard testimony from military officials and government officials, people in the intelligence community, who claimed that they knew about extraterrestrials and even ETs, crashed extraterrestrial craft which had occupants, and which they testified the United States government actually had obtained those craft and had seen those extraterrestrial craft and their occupants. So extraterrestrials were definitely known to the U.S. government. This was at least 75 years ago, if not more, when the United States government found out about this, but they've been concealing it. And although there are a lot of good people within the United States government now that are trying very hard to get the government secret intelligence agencies, especially that know about this, to reveal the information that they know, they're still trying to avoid it. So last year, in response to a request from the United States Congress to please let us know what you know about UFOs and ETs and all, the United States government established a organization called AARO, AARO, which means the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. And Congress had requested the information about all the U.S. government programs relating to UFOs which now they call UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. So they established this office last year, and also the Congress uh, made a ruling that any whistleblowers from within U.S. government organizations that have any information about UFOs, military or civilian, they can come forward and not be punished if they break their vows of secrecy. Usually, when anybody is involved in these projects related to UFOs and ETs, they are ordered and they must promise that they will never talk about them. And if they do talk about them, they can be punished. They can lose their jobs. They can lose all of their benefits, their retirement benefits. Uh, so it's been hard for people to do that. But since last year, now they can do it. They can so-called break their vows. They can report to this AARO office, and they will be freed from any punishment. They cannot be punished for doing that. So that's been very, very helpful development. And actually, this AARO office, unfortunately, is not revealing this information. They're getting a lot of information from whistleblowers who have information about ETs and about UFOs, but they're not letting us know about it. So they're supposed to let us know, and the Congress is trying to get them to make it known. Even to Congress, they're keeping the information from Congress. And certainly they're not letting us, the people, know what they know in all these programs. And for years, they've had programs, and they've always denied it. So let's see. Dr. Ijaz Ali Jagrani says, my sound is muted. I don't know why you can't hear that. I think Sherry Afridi said Assalamu alaikum, so she must be hearing me, I guess. Anyway, I'm sorry if you're not hearing it. If anybody else cannot hear the sound, please let me know, because as far as I can tell, my camera and my microphone are working. Muted my microphone and unmuted it. So let me just get back quickly to this very important information that a struggle is going on right now in the U.S. government. And many of the senators and congressmen, both Democratic and Republican from both parties, they were trying to get the government to force the secrecy to be ended. And they were requesting, I guess, and Congress didn't pass it all because too many people have their own interests, and so they voted against it. But they were trying to get the government to release all this information that they have had. And for years, the government even refused, or the Pentagon also refused to admit that they had any programs on about UFOs. There was one for some years, and then they said it was closed down. But now the truth is coming out. We can be very, very happy that although it's coming out very, very slowly, the truth is coming out, and the government is again, the United States government is again having testimony, hearing testimony from people that know about these. They may be military men, Air Force men who actually saw extraterrestrial craft. And although a few years ago, they even released some videos of extraterrestrial craft, the U.S. military did. But they haven't given all the information that they know about them. They know much more than they're telling. So gradually, over the last few years, this information has started coming out. And now, just this year, a lot of information has come out. But it's always published now by the mass media with information which is hiding the truth rather than revealing the truth, although the truth is being revealed in the congressional hearings, and witnesses are testifying, very reliable. Government employees and military persons who have seen extraterrestrial craft, they still are denying that UFOs, extraterrestrial craft, that is, exist, although they know it does. They know there are many. For more than 75 years, they've known, the United States government and military has known about these extraterrestrial craft and that they are from other planets and they were occupied by beings who were not human beings, but they're still trying to prevent it. There's a big struggle going on right now, but hopefully within the certainly next year, there will be more information coming out to the public, God willing. Okay, let us see. What other questions? I hope, Doctor. So first I said, Sherry Afridi said, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. Sherry Afridi ji. Dr. Aijaz Ali Jagrirani Baluch says that the sound is muted. And as I said before, I hope that you can hear me now, because if you can't, please let me know, others. But it appears that some other comments are coming, so I think people are hearing me. Yasir Bob says, who was Jim Jones and what was MK Ultra? Well, these are issues that don't have directly anything to do with the topic that we're talking about. But Jim Jones was an American religious leader, and actually people say that he was related to the CIA, but he had a number of followers whom he took to he had what would you call it? He had an organization which was supposedly a religious organization, and he had quite a few, I don't know how many, if it was hundreds or what, but many dozens certainly, of his followers all committed suicide together, according to the official reports that we were told. Anyway, I forgot to highlight that. So my parents knew some of their friends had children who were in that organization and who did die at that time. So anyway, I don't know if that had anything to do with extraterrestrials. I don't think so, but maybe it did. But that's our topic, is extraterrestrials and UFOs today. And what was MK Ultra? Well, MK Ultra has a lot to do with this, because MK Ultra was a program, secret program, of course, by the CIA, and it was basically meant for controlling people's minds. That was the purpose behind it, and to conceal, prevent people from understanding the truth about many issues, secret government programs especially, but it was for mind control. It was for mind control, to control the whole population of the world, really, not only the United States, through a variety of efforts, especially controlling the press, the media, and crowd-controlled methods using advanced electronic techniques. So many, a few, I should say, people who were subjected to this MK Ultra mind control programs, they have come out and testified what happened to them. So a lot of it was related to extraterrestrials. It may be that the MK Ultra technology was actually obtained from extraterrestrials, but in any case, it was used to prevent information about extraterrestrials and UFOs from coming out. It was a secret CIA program, which of course nobody knew about it for a long time, and then when it started coming out, they denied it. So Yasir Bob says, what was your high school reunion after 60 years? Oh, so in October, a little less than 2 months ago, my high school had a reunion in Arizona, which I attended. So it wasn't after 60 years. It was my class reunion. It had been, I graduated in 1965 from high school, and let me see, 65, so that's 35 plus 23, 68, 58 years ago. So it was a very wonderful time when I met many of my old friends and classmates. And we also had a little bit of discussion about UFOs, but not very much. It was just meeting my old friends and having a good time and talking about things that interested us. Okay, ICT 4227 says, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. ICT 4227. C Gamer says, study what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches about UFOs. The truth is stranger than fiction. I do know that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, taught that there was a very large UFO called a mothership, um, which has been has been around our Earth for many, many decades, even the first part of the 20th century, and that Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that he met Elijah Muhammad on that mothership uh, after Elijah Muhammad had passed away, after he had died in this world. He was still living on that mothership, and Louis Farrakhan met him there. So it is stranger than fiction, you can say. And let's see, a little more information I know about that is that they said that the Japanese actually uh, had built a huge mothership also uh, in the early part of the 20th century. So the truth is, you're right, the truth is stranger than fiction. And C Gamer says, Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam, sir. And Yasir Bob says, where are extraterrestrials? Oh, very good question. I'm glad we got a question about extraterrestrials. So extraterrestrials are all over our planet as well as throughout our galaxy and in other galaxies. Practically every star has planets that are inhabited by intelligent extraterrestrials. Many of them are human beings who look exactly like us, and we actually may be genetically related to them. And there are other extraterrestrials that look somewhat differently, but almost all of them have 2 arms and 2 legs. Very interesting. Scientists were surprised when they found this out. But almost all of the extraterrestrials are humanoid. That is, they have, some don't, but most of them have just 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head with eyes and mouth, and some of them don't have noses, they just, or ears, they have just little holes in there for hearing and things, but very, very similar. Scientists were shocked, actually, that so many extraterrestrial races uh, look so much like us, or at least have a basic form like we do, a humanoid form. So, so Yasser Bob's question about extraterrestrials is, they are here. As I said recently, many times I've talked about how I met, when I was 9 years old, I met an extraterrestrial. And again, when I was about 45, I met that same extraterrestrial and talked with her. And that is physically, I met and talked. And since then, I've often communicated with extraterrestrials telepathically. But there was only one other time, I didn't talk with any of them, but one other time when I saw a group of extraterrestrials and heard them talking, but I didn't communicate directly with them myself. So they are on this planet. Some of them who look just like human beings have been living openly in our society, and most people don't realize they're extraterrestrials. So they're everywhere, even on our planet. And a number of them, just like the extraterrestrial that I had met, told me that her people now live underneath the ground. Maybe they also live on other planets, and they certainly have spaceships they fly in. But one group of her race, who live, she said, for thousands of years, also have a colony underneath the surface of our Earth. So where are extraterrestrials? They're everywhere. And gradually more and more people are meeting them. They're physically meeting more and more people now and appearing in dreams to many, many people. Okay, good question. Thank you, Yasser Bob. And he goes on, where did scientists find aliens? Is it in Area 51? They didn't find them in Area 51, which is a secret, top secret Air Force base in Nevada in the United States. But they took some of them there. And even right now, there are cooperative projects being worked on by extraterrestrials and human beings at Area 51. But the most famous one, although there have been some before then, but the most famous one was on July 4th, I believe it was. Anyway, it was in the early part of July 1947 when a flying saucer crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. And for many, well, actually, originally, the first day, the day after that happened, in the Roswell newspaper, it was reported that this crashed UFO has been recovered. So that was more than 75 years ago, as I've been saying. So this is now 75, 76 years later, and still the government is not admitting. They're trying to conceal the fact, but it's coming out now. Um, so that was in New Mexico, which is in southwestern part of the United States. And in Arizona, there was also a craft, which is the next state. So I think it's mainly because that was the area where the United States was developing atomic bombs near Roswell, the place where the first atomic bomb was exploded. So that's one of the main reasons why that is the area where they found them first. But then because Area 51 is such a top secret base, and you can't get in there. There are signs posted. If you try to go there, there are signs posted, no entry, top secret. And if you try to go in, then immediately some officers, security officers, will stop you, and you can't go any further. So it's a very top secret area there called Area 51. All right, Zila Baloch says, Assalamu alaikum. How are you? Nice to see you. Wa alaikum salam, Zila Baloch ji. I am very happy, thank you. And it's nice to see you too. And one reason I'm so happy is that tomorrow I'm having a meeting, a public meeting with some people here in Esparto to talk about extraterrestrials and UFOs. So I'm really looking forward to that. If you're in the area, I know I do have some people who sometimes come on my live chats who are in Woodland and in Esparto. So if Woodland is the nearest town to our little tiny village of Esparto. So if you are hearing this, or if you find out, you're welcome to come. Anybody who's in this area of Northern California, please come to Esparto. It is on the Highway 16 in what is called Hog Canyon Restaurant. So we'll be meeting there at 3 p.m. Pacific time here, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on tomorrow, Sunday. And if you're in the area, you're welcome to attend that. Zila Baloch says, Sir, what's your views on Bermuda Triangle? Well, again, this may or may not be related to our topic today. I don't know if UFOs and extraterrestrials are involved in the Bermuda Triangle, but it's an area in the Atlantic Ocean, not far from the United States, near the island of Bermuda, where many strange things have happened. Many airplanes and boats that have gone into that area have disappeared. So I don't know much about it. I believe it may be related to Atlantis, because there was a continent which may have extended up to that part of the Atlantic Ocean. And they had high technology thousands of years ago, 10,000 years ago. I don't know exactly how many thousands of years ago, but many thousands of years ago, there was a very highly advanced civilization which had technology like controlling electromagnetic energy the way human beings were not able to do until very recently. So it could have something to do with electromagnetic phenomena there in that area that causes the airplanes or the boats' communication systems to dysfunction, so they get lost. I don't know. But it is definitely a real place, and many things have gone missing there. Yasser Bob says, do aliens do zikr? Well, I don't know about all of them, but I do know that some of them do. Yes, definitely. Some do zikr. And many of them are very, very pious. In fact, what we call angels are really extraterrestrials. They're the more pious. Well, some of them may or may not be doing zikr, but I'm sure that some of them do. It's a very, very important practice, not only on our planet, but as far as I know, throughout our galaxy and other galaxies, there is practice of zikr of some sort. Zila Baloch says, it seems like Bermuda Triangle mystery also has influence of extraterrestrial powers. It may. I really don't know. but it definitely has some sort of electromagnetic anomalies there. Things happen there which we don't really understand. But whether extraterrestrials are involved, I don't know. And A. A. Khan says, MashaAllah. Okay. And he also says, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, A. A. Khan. Okay. Thank you all very much. And I'm going to continue talking more about extraterrestrials because, as I've been saying recently on some of my live chats, many more are coming now. And many more are making themselves visible to human beings. So I hope next Saturday I will also talk a little more, and I may report on the meeting that we're going to have tomorrow, how people here in Esparto in this area have responded. One man who used to be in the Air Force, retired now, he reported that he's going to come to the meeting and share some documents that he has from his time in the military. So we're really looking forward to it. So next Saturday at this live chat, I will report on that too, inshallah. Okay, thank you all very much. May God protect us all. Oh, one more comment from A. Khan. A. Khan, great leader Babaji Sahib, please pray for us. I am praying every day, especially for Pakistan, land of the pure, and Khalistan, land of the pure. They both mean the same thing. And I'm praying for Imran Khan Sahib, especially because he is such an honest, sincere, capable leader, and he's been so unjustly treated, falsely imprisoned, all these lies they're telling about him. So I'm praying especially for him, but for all of you in Pakistan and people all over the world. I'm praying all of us, may we become humble to accept truths that we may not have thought possible before, especially about extraterrestrials. So, okay, Allah Hafiz. Oh, one more comment has just come up. Dr. Ijaz Ali Jagirani Baloch says, are the Hindu god and goddess aliens? That's a very, very good question. And definitely, I'm quite convinced some of them definitely are. Because, for example, there are a number of Hindu gods and goddesses who are blue colored. And there is a very elevated and well-known extraterrestrial race. I think they're called Andromedans, who are blue. Their skin color is actually blue. So it's possible that those Hindu gods and goddesses who are of blue color are related to those Andromedans. And then, of course, there are other stories in the Mahabharata, especially, and in the Ramayana, about Hindu gods and goddesses who have powers, like flying saucers, you can say, or like ships that travel in the air. They fly. Very, very clear stories. And they had very powerful weapons, like laser weapons also, and like atomic bombs. So there are accounts of Hindu gods and goddesses that sound very much like things that we now know extraterrestrials have and do. So that was a very good question. Thank you. Okay, goodbye. Hope to see you next Saturday at the same time. Sorry I was a little late today, but we will continue. Allah Hafiz.